In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a bunch of cool things you can do with strings in Python. So let's start by declaring a variable called course and set it to Python for beginners. Now this string that we have over here is technically an object. And an object in Python is like an object in the real world. As a metaphor, think of the remote control of your TV. This remote control is an object and it has a bunch of capabilities. It has a bunch of buttons for turning your TV on, turning it off, changing the volume, and so on. Now, in this program, this course variable is storing a string object. This string object has a bunch of capabilities. So if you type course dot, you can see all the capabilities available in a string object. These are basically functions that you can call, just like the print or input functions. The difference is that the print and input functions are general purpose functions. They don't belong to a particular object, but the functions you see over here are specific to strings. Now, more accurately, we refer to these as methods. So when a function is part of an object, we refer to that function as a method. So let's look at a few examples. Here we have a function or a method called upper, and we use that to convert a string to uppercase. So if we print course.upper and run this program, you can see our course in uppercase. Pretty useful. Now, what you need to understand here is that this upper method does not change our original string. It will return a new string. So right after this, if we print course, you can see that our course variable is not affected. So the upper method returns a new string. Now, similarly, we have another method called lower for converting a string to lowercase. We have a method called find to see if our string contains a character or a sequence of characters. For example, here we can pass y, and this will return the index of the first occurrence of y in our string. So in Python, the index of the first character in a string is 0. So here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So when we run this program, you're going to see 1 on the terminal because the index of y is 1. Take a look. First, I'm going to delete this line. We don't need it anymore. Also, let's delete this line. Let's run the program. There you go. Now, as I told you before, Python is sensitive to lowercase and uppercase letters. So if I pass an uppercase y here, this find method returns -1 because we don't have an uppercase y in this string. We can also pass a sequence of characters, for example, 4. So this will return the index of the word 4. Take a look. So it's 7. Now, there are times we want to replace something in a string with something else. To do that, we use the replace method, replace. So we can replace 4 with a string containing the number 4. Take a look. So Python for beginners. Obviously, if we look for a character or a sequence of characters that don't exist in our string, nothing is going to happen. For example, if we try to replace x with 4, obviously we don't have x here, so nothing is going to happen. Also, just like the upper method, the replace method is not going to modify our original string, so it's going to return a new string. This is because strings in Python and many other programming languages are immutable. We cannot change them once we create them. Whenever we want to change a string, we'll end up with a new string object in memory. Now, one last thing I want to cover in this tutorial. There are times you want to see if your string contains a character or a sequence of characters. One way to do that is using the find method that we talked about. So let's see if our string contains Python. Now, when we run this program, that is the index of the first occurrence of the word Python in our string. Now, in Python, we can also use the in operator. So we can write an expression like this. We type a string, Python, then we type in. This is a special keyword in Python. This is what we call the in operator. So after that, we type the name of our variable. So with this expression, we're checking to see if we have Python in course. As you can see, Python code is very readable. It's like plain English. So when we run this program, instead of seeing the index of the first occurrence of Python, we see a Boolean value. This is more desirable in a lot of cases.